So today we're going to talk about ERP system landscape. How do you choose the right platform for your business? I'm just going to give you some examples. And there are many systems that are coming alive in this market right now. But just touch on some of the well-known and the big ones. SAP will cost you $2 million and take 2 years to implement. NetSuite will cost you $200K, 6 months. A new AI-powered ERP will promise 90 days. So they're just giving you a highlight of 3 different areas, right? So I'm going to break it down a little bit more in detail to provide you a format of guidelines on the ERP landscape so you can choose a platform that fits your size, that fits your complexity and growth. The ERP market, by the way, it has evolved dramatically with cloud computing and AI innovations. So when you scope the market and you look at the various implementations across companies, these companies range in size from $10 million to over $500 million in revenue. I've seen how different platforms, they serve different business needs. So understanding the ERP landscape, they can save you from costly mismatches between what your requirements are and what the system capabilities will be. The ERP market operates in distinct tiers, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. And it depends on company's size, complexity, and functional requirement. Tier 1 enterprise ERP systems like SAP, S4HANA, the target market is over $500 million, complex business global operations. Their strength is comprehensive functionality, they provide industry-specific solutions, and they provide advanced analytics. Implementation cycles could be long, 18 to 36 months, $2 to $10 million cost. It's best for manufacturing, multinational corporations, highly regulated industries. There is also Oracle Fusion Cloud, very big one. Target market, very similar, data-intensive operations. Their strengths are more on the database integration. They have great business intelligence. They're very good on supply chain management. Again, implementation time could be 12 to 24 months, cost you $1 million to $5 million. It's best for data-heavy businesses, complex management reporting, high transaction volumes. So when do you consider Tier 1? When you're global operations you have multiple currencies and regulations. You have complex manufacturing and supply chain. You need advanced analytics and AI capabilities. And then there could be industry-specific functionality. So Tier 1 is basically interchangeable almost. Tier 2, on the other hand, you have NetSuite, which is the big fish in the pond. Their target market is $10 to $200 million. Strengths, true cloud architecture, by the way. They have good financial management. They have good e-commerce integration. It might take about 4 to 12 months to implement, maybe. The total cost of ownership would be, close to 400, 500K. It's best for SaaS companies, e-commerce, professional services companies, and companies experiencing rapid growth. There is Microsoft Dynamics 365, and that integrates well to a Microsoft Office environment. Then you become familiar with all the interface is very familiar and very flexible in terms of deployment. It takes about 6 to 12 months to deploy. It's best for companies, I guess, with a lot of Microsoft tools, good for distribution, great for field service. You have Sage intact, target market is very much similar to NetSuite and Dynamics. Again, their strength is financial management. They have, by the way, very, very good multiple entity consolidation. I was pretty impressed. And they have good audit trails. Implementation cycle is again the same, few months, and the cost is not any different from NetSuite or Microsoft Dynamics. Then you have the smaller versions like Acumatica, a little bit smaller, more project-based businesses. They have unlimited user licensing as far as I know at this point. They're very good on project accounting, mobile access. They're good at that. Again, same implementation cycles, a little bit cheaper. They're very good for field operations as well. The new one that I also saw is Zoho One. You can look into it. Very small organizations, $1 to $50 million. Integrated business suite, So again, it's affordable pricing. It's quick deployment, affordable pricing. You can deploy something in 4 or 5 months. It might cost you $150K max, And for small business startups, it's a really great solution. But now you have AI-powered next-generation ERPs, like Roulette and Everest Systems and Campfire. They target small companies, they are AI-powered, and they provide AI-powered insights, rapid implementation, modern UX. The implementation cycle is significantly smaller, and the implementation cost is not as high. And they are continuously investing in AI-enabled solutions. They focus more on process automation, and their strength, these companies, intelligent automation, predictive analytics, very low-code customization. And you can get this up and running, like I said, in 3 to 6 months. It might cost you anywhere from 50K to 200K. We do a really good job. So the most important characteristic I've noticed across these 3 companies, they have natural language interfaces for system interaction. They have good predictive analytics for demand forecasting and financial planning. They have automated exception handling. They have great workflow automation and optimization as well. And they provide real-time intelligent insights and recommendations. So if you look at it from an industry perspective, manufacturing, SAP and Oracle rules. Dynamic 365 is more for discrete manufacturing. Acumatica is more like job costing, project-based manufacturing. If you look at the world of professional services, we use NetSuite, but Sage Intacct is just as good. Acumatica can be configured and can work for professional services. If you're looking at retail e-commerce, NetSuite is extremely good on that front. Omnichannel operations, Dynamics 365 has retail-specific functionality. Zoho is good for very small retail operations. NetSuite is more subscription billing, by the way. Sage Intacct has very good multi-entity, like I mentioned. And Roulette is more for enhanced, modified financial operations. I mean, these are some of the key players in the market right now. You also have to look at, when you're evaluating the ERP system, you have to look at the growth and the user headcount, because sometimes you can hit the cap and you can move into a different tier that can become very expensive. So modeling your ERP system growth to the future of the company is extremely important to get an understanding of the cost considerations that you have to deal with down the road. There are technical considerations. If you decide whether it's a cloud-based or on-premise deployment, you have to allocate IT resources and technical expertise. You have to have security and data governance provisions. And you also have to evaluate this ERP system from a total cost of ownership. Look at the software licensing, look at the implementation services, look at the training and change management, look at the ongoing support and maintenance costs. It can range, the range can be quite significant. But consider all of these 4 variables. And the timeline is important in so far as you're dealing with some urgent issues. Business urgency and deadline requirements drive some of these implementation decisions. You have to look at your internal resources. You have to look at the complexity of data migration. And look at the vendor ecosystem, service partners, solution partners, implementation partner availability and quality. You look at the third-party integration in the marketplace. You look at the long-term vendor visibility and roadmap. As far as the due diligence is concerned, look at the requirement documentation, create detailed functional requirements across all the departments, and then put a RFP together and hand that over to that particular segment, ERP segment that addresses your revenue and needs. Make sure you do vendor demos, specifically in your space, live demos, and then get back business references. Speak to 3 or 5 companies similar to yours who have implemented these systems. Maybe even do a site visit and get a demo. Test the critical functionality with sample data. And again, like I said, do a total cost analysis, 5-year cost projection, including implementation, operational expenses, user growth, etc. The right ERP system, they depend on your specific business requirements. They depend on your growth trajectory, and they depend on your organizational capabilities. Do not choose based on brand recognition alone. I have made that mistake. Choose based on fit with your actual needs. Remember that tier 1 systems like SAP, Oracle, they offer comprehensive functionality, but it might be overkill. It might require significant investment. Tier 2 systems, they provide excellent value for mid-market companies. And AI-powered systems, they offer modern capabilities, but may lack proven track records. So next week, we'll explore why you should re-architect your enterprise architecture before the ERP implementation. That is a foundation work, and that will determine your project's success. The more investment you make in the enterprise architecture and you document those artifacts, it will allow you to produce RFPs in a more concrete way and you'll be able to map that architecture to the system capability, and the system implementation will go a lot smoother. We'll get into Series 3 and we'll talk a little bit more in detail on the ERP implementations and design methodology method, and also talk about the architecture planning for this enterprise architecture that I just spoke of. See you next session. Take care. Bye-bye.